Heroes of the Storm has a launch date. SWTOR's 12 times experience boost is set to make a return. All that and more. I'm Zach Sharps, and this is Free to Play Weekly. Those of you action RPG fans out there got great news this week, as Path of Exile, the free-to-play dungeon crawler from Grinding Gear Games, has officially kicked off closed beta for its upcoming content patch, The Awakening. Since this next content update is quite large, it certainly is smart for Grinding Gear Games to test their product before it's officially live. However, what content is going to be added? Well, for starters, a ton of new story content, skills, items, and all the other usual balancing tweaks you would find in an update. That being said, some of the main gameplay mechanics are also receiving an overhaul from the very beginning levels. And to top all that off, there will be user interface updates as well as fully rebalancing of the game. And also, just to throw more in there, a new jewel system to add on to the already massive skill tree within the game. Sounds like a lot of content, huh? Are you anticipating Area Games' free-to-play MMORPG Echo of Soul? Well, then you're going to be glad to hear that its closed beta will officially kick off on May 4th. With the almost normality of Founders Packs being the key to get into games in early stages nowadays, you can bet that Area Games has some available for you to purchase. In fact, their Founder Packs as of now range from $19.99 to $49.99. Even the lowest Founders Pack does guarantee closed beta access, which is a nice touch nowadays. Those of you who don't want to throw money at an unfinished game though, still can sign up for the closed beta on their official website, and who knows, maybe it'll be your lucky day. That all said, I'm curious about Echo of Soul, but I'm not really intrigued enough to buy a Founders Pack for entry. Who knows, maybe I'm in the minority. Are you guys looking forward to Echo of Soul? Leave a comment down below. So what happens when you reach your maximum power within My.com's free-to-play MMORPG Skyforge? Well, My.com and the Allods team gave us some answers this week, and it seems to be in the form of divine forms and abilities. Switching to a divine form causes the player's character to grow in size, take on previously customized appearances, and unlocks the ability to use divine ultimate abilities. While these abilities are not class-specific, they are role-specific. For example, tanks, casters, support, ranged, and melee roles will all have their own ultimate abilities. And to add on to this, there is also a Divine Atlas, which provides even more room for your god powers to evolve to your liking. I know after I played a good bit of closed beta number 3, Skyforge did start to grow on me quite a lot, especially since my opinions were a little bit bleak after the first closed beta. And even though it still feels somewhat repetitive and didn't really do anything particularly groundbreaking, it still feels like it's going to be a good free-to-play MMO. That is, if it nails the free-to-play part of that correctly. If you haven't been able to get into Blizzard's highly anticipated free-to-play multiplayer online battle arena Heroes of the Storm, then you're going to be happy to hear that Blizzard has officially announced an open beta date, which will start on May 19th. Heroes of the Storm is set to launch on June 2nd, which was also announced, and will have over 30 heroes to choose from in 7 different battlegrounds in which to wage war. Of course, with each hero, there is skins, mounts, etc. in order to further customize your look, and a free hero rotation for you to demo specific heroes. As I've mentioned before, I have quite enjoyed this particular MOBA. In fact, I am the cap level of 40 currently. But if I wanted to change one thing, I would say cut the heroes cost down a bit, because it's a little bit too much in comparison to other MOBAs on the market. What released with a good bit of problems as well as a good bit of complaints? No guys, we're not talking about ArcAge, we're talking about Cryptic Games' free-to-play title Neverwinter. With the recent content update Elemental Evil, Cryptic came under fire with a good bit of complaints regarding the launch of this update and what it entails. Scott Scheikoff, the new lead designer for Neverwinter, stepped in and said the following in regards to the content update's issues. "We are aware of the mistakes that were made with this release, and for that I would like to apologize. We understand the frustration and are actively working to make positive adjustments. Things won't change immediately, but they will improve over time. Thank you for understanding and giving me the time to help identify and address the issues most important to the community." So what can players expect to change exactly? Shaikov gave his own list of hot button issues, which include overall difficulty, XP rewards in the new zones and campaign zones, invocation, hourly quests, zone reuses, removed dungeons, campaign zone levels, items missing slots and stats, and more. It's really good to see leadership actually acknowledge a failed launch. But you know what doesn't fail at launching? And that was a bad transition. The question of the week. Last week on the show, I let you guys play free-to-play gods and choose one game you felt needed to be exterminated and why. Before I begin, I did say free-to-play games, and a good chunk of you said World of Warcraft, and WoW isn't free-to-play yet. Maybe in a few years, though, it might make that transition. But anyhow, a user by the name of Shadow Mouse said the following: I would remove Ragnarok Online 2, it pales in comparison to the previous title, and in my humble opinion, I think it came out way too late. Other games in this genre have done a better job, plus the game just feels like it was left behind in time. Thanks for your response, and if you want your comment possibly featured in next week's episode, make sure to leave your comment down below. This week's question is, with many games having a failed launch, either the game itself or a big content patch, what in your opinion was the worst launch of all time? Keep in mind it has to be a free-to-play title and can be a content update or an entire game launch. I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. I may only feature one every week, but I do read them all. For our last news segment of the week, let me just say that this last bit of news did make me quite happy. It appears as though BioWare's 12 times experience, the story quest in Star Wars The Old Republic, was quite a hit, which, I mean, honestly, 12 times experience, who wouldn't like that? And they're bringing it back. Yes, you heard me correctly. However, the 12 times experience bonus, the story quest, will only be active for subscribers of SWTOR and will kick off starting May the 4th. Get it? May the 4th be with you? Yeah. I think you guys probably got that. Anyhow, one thing that is interesting to note is that there's not an end date for this 12 times experience bonus perk, which could mean it's a possible permanent feature to stay for subscribers. That would be awesome. Sorry guys, I let my fanboy run wild a little bit on this one because the best aspects of SWTOR is the story. Everything in the middle is kinda bleh. You know what isn't bleh though? Giveaways. Yes, this week is especially potent on MMOBomb.com's giveaway page, so I suggest you head on over there and check out what we have in store. One highlight of the week is Skyforge's closed beta key giveaway. If you were curious about the game but didn't want to buy a starter pack, be sure to check that one out. That being said though guys, my name is Zach Sharp, signing off until next week's Free to Play Weekly. I'll catch you guys next time.